Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. So Thomas Tuchel is in talks to take the England job. This is coming exclusively in the last few minutes. Sky Sports are reporting that Tuchel is in talks for the England job. What are your thoughts on Tuchel talks? Look, a German manager managing England, I don't really care about it, but I remember talking about this previously, and some people didn't quite like it. We were going to be talking about Pep Guardiola being in talks for the England job because apparently the FA were going to pull off their biggest managerial scoop in years. I mean, I wouldn't trust the FA to pull off the lid off a tube of Pringles, to be honest with you. But, you know, just because Tuchel talks are taking place doesn't mean he will be that guy. But look, they are big targets for the FA. And having been an observer of English football for 40 years, we don't do these sort of things. So it could be quite revolutionary. It's going to be 60 years at the next World Cup since England won any silverware, which is embarrassing for a country that's got the biggest domestic league in the world, loads of attention, the biggest audience, and yet an amazing squad that we can't do anything with. We're an embarrassment. So to finally be looking at coaches that win things would be a big major step forward. We've had foreign coaches before, Sven-Göran Eriksson, Fabio Capello, but in fairness to those two managers, they were quite pragmatic managers. Some would say quite boring in the way that they approach football. If you went for a Pep Guardiola or a Thomas Tuchel, tactically, very, very different. They would be managers, certainly, that have managed big clubs, whether that's Man City, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, PSG, Chelsea. They are big club managers and they have got Premier League experience. But the Thomas Tuchel one, just to deal with that first of all, he is pretty much joint favourite with Pep Guardiola at the moment with the bookies, and the third favourite, Eddie Howe, is a big outlier already. So it's big news. Thomas Tuchel in talks with the FA about becoming the next England manager. This is coming from Sky. This is hot on the heels of a story this morning that Lee Carsley's been informed that he won't be the next England manager, which obviously is the right decision. What would my feelings be about this? Look, I do not want Thomas Tuchel to be Man United manager. I've said that before. I think there's just too many reasons why. But I've always said tactically, he's an interesting and I would say good coach. I would say for Thomas Tuchel, Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho, Mikel Arteta, Unai Emery, managing England would be like a holiday compared to domestic football. I think that the best manager you can get from club football to be an international manager, the easier it will be, because they're not on the training ground every single day. If you're managing Ireland or Scotland, it's difficult because you've not got an infinite pool of talent. But if you're managing England or Spain or Italy or Germany, it's an easier job because you've got so many players to pick from. I think Thomas Tuchel could do the job. I think I could manage England to a major tournament. I think you could manage England to a major tournament. We're never not going to qualify. Like, we're too good not to qualify. It's when you get, and really we're too good to get through the group stage as well. And really we're too good. I mean, we're going to always hit the quarterfinals with that squad. And that's when you need that manager. Because some people still wanted to keep Southgate because he takes us to quarterfinals. But that's where every 2 years, that's your biggest game. If you're managing in club football, when Arsenal play Man City, that's your biggest game twice a year. Then you've got to go Old Trafford, Anfield. You get a few games. As an international coach, you've got to be ready every 2 years for that quarterfinal game, because that's really where you're going to get to, and that's when you're going to get found out. That's when you're going to play one of the top 8 teams in the world or in Europe, and that's what it's all about. And that's why, for me, you go and get the best that you can get. That's why you try and get a Pep or a Tuchel or a Mourinho a few years ago or whatever. And if you go for a Carsley or a Southgate or a Hodgson or a McLaren, this is why you come up short, because these guys can't mix it up at the very end of the race. And that's why the FA need to do this. And it's been confusing why they've never done it. I think if English football brought in a Pep Guardiola or a Thomas Tuchel, there would be a massive change and reinvigoration around the national team, which, I'll be honest, I didn't watch 1 minute of that last international break. One, because I don't understand what the purpose of the Nations League is. There's too much football. I understand that they got rid of it for friendlies being a waste of time. But the Nations League is just not caught on. It's a waste of time. When the Euros come round or the World Cup come round, I'll be watching it. But if you can bring a manager in like a Tuchel or a Pep, then you're going to reinvigorate the interest, because suddenly there's going to be a belief that we can do it. And we have got some fantastic players, and these are coaches that are going to set up systems that are not been worked on for 10 minutes the day before a game. We're not going to see a front five with no striker in it. We're not going to see a centre-back at left-back. We're going to see a system, and we're going to create a familiar system with coaches that don't do mates rates. You know, it's not inflatable day in the pool. It's like, let's be serious. Let's win the World Cup in 2026. That's the end game. That's what I'm being paid to do. Professionalism, elitism, etc. I would be on board with this. I would be on board with this. Does it matter that they're not English? I mean, I don't get this. You have to respect it. There'll be people in the comments who've got a problem with it. Look, would I take Pep over Tuchel? Of course I would. Do I think Pep's going to take the job? No. I don't know that Pep Guardiola is ready to take the England job and take his foot off the pedal. Managing England, it's 4 meetups a year. That's it. You get, 5, because you get the summer, don't you? 4 international breaks in the season, which is too many anyway, and then the summer. There's a lot of work done away from the players. You get injuries, you get people pulling out. The players are really interested in the major tournaments that happen every 2 years. So there's a lot of strategy involved in this. There's a lot of planning involved in this. It's not day to day, and some people can't deal with that. But the opportunity is massive. I mean, international football rarely supersedes club football. But if you are the guy that wins a major tournament for England, the home of football, then you are going to go down. Look at Sir Alf Ramsey, 66. Look at that team. It's a different type of management. But if you can be the guy who hold the trophy up at the end of it, you're immortal in many ways. So that's why people want an English manager, I think. But I genuinely don't care. I think that, look, there will be people out there going, World War II was Germany and England. Why have we got a German manager in charge of England? Well, that's a difficult thing to say in 2024, but there will be people, there are people like that, and there will be people against it. We're here to play football in 2024. We know we can't escape the past. Of course, the past is written, but the future is also there to be written as well. This is a manager that's managed in the Premier League. This is a manager that has managed at the top level in football, and this is a manager that would be better than any manager we've had since the 90s. So why would you not take that just because of a passport? And if you're going to go outside of England, you can't just say, we're going outside of England, but not Germany or Argentina, because in the past we've been to war with them. We can't do that. So I think that when you look at the pool of English coaches, they're not good enough. So you've got to go foreign. And if you're going to go foreign, then you've got to look at what's available and what's the best. And you're never going to take a manager. It's difficult for a Man United to go to Villa and take Emery, or German national team and take Nagelsmann. It's impossible for England to do that. They can't do that. So they've got to look at people who are going to be out of contract in the summer or are available now. And they've got to go for the best that they can get. And the best they can get is not Graham Potter. It's not Lee Carsley. And Eddie Howe's going to cost them a lot of money. So I think financially shouldn't be a reason. But Tuchel over Howe is not going to cost you the same amount of money, is it? And you could argue that he's better. So, look, it's interesting. We'll have to see what happens. But this is breaking news. Thomas Tuchel in talks with the FA about becoming the next England manager. There could be all sorts of twists and turns off that. That could be a little bit of a jolt if Pep is interested. I mean, he was asked about it at the weekend. He didn't say no, but he said he's Man City manager at the moment. Get your comments in below. What are your thoughts? Smash a like on the video and subscribe. I'll speak to you on the next one.